Yes,
Okay.
I'd rather.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I will open the meeting. It's a little after 10. But in any case, can we have a roll call?
Lori So.
Kathy Kane.
Dorothy Putnam.
Nilda Cohen.
Winkler. Hi.
And Miss Patrice just walked in. Would you please, you're going to have your back to the camera because now we're being recorded for at least the open time.
Choice of scenes.
So control yourself. And we have a guest, a very important guest. So as you know, I had different changes to the, this was the most changed agenda in my history, but Jim called me and had some questions with the FRTA contract, which you guys had given, allowed me to sign off because of the time sensitivity, and they're going on vacation. We're not, but they're going on vacation. To get it to Amy. So you all got an email this morning that Charlie forwarded with Maureen's questions and Jim's.
I didn't.
Oh, okay, well, I've been on the computer since...
It did come, yes.
Yeah. So in any case, I was going to share that. They did not sign it. They voted to allow or give the release of signing it, either Maureen or Jim, whoever could come to the meeting.
Yeah, any board member.
Yes, contingent on responses to the questions that they had that could not be answered because I couldn't go to the meeting. Everything kind of, affected the schedule. So one of the, I had it here. One of the questions was the amount. Okay. So what caused the confusion, and I spoke to Amy at our FRTA, on our monthly reports to FRTA, it had 25.5 on the corner, which indicates that's our starting number. As each month is reported, it's reduced. And that's how we monitor that we're within the guidelines of the amount that's awarded to us. So that was confirmed. We talked to Vicki. There was a note from Jennifer that was, even though the contract said 31 for FY17, we had this different figure, so I needed clarification. So the story is that the contract says 31, but it's really 30, and that's why...
This contract says 30.
Right, 30, and my FY17 was 31. And the reason for that is that they take a 2-year activity of what has been used, and then it either goes up or it goes down. It's every 2 years. FY15 and 16 is reflected of a higher ridership usage, and therefore that's why it was higher for FY17. For FY8, so they took those 2 years, and so the FY18 is slightly lower. The next cycle of a review of what they're going to award, it also comes off the cherry sheet. So there's components that they use to determine that will be an FY20. So that's when we're going to see a difference. And so that's why I said 31, because I was using the FY17 versus the, and the 25.5, she says she doesn't know where that number, she admitted, she said, Nilda, I can't even tell you how that number was, because they do the sheet, we don't do it. So she said, it would be not worth at this point to research it, but the contract is for 30.
So if I understand it correctly, the previous 2 years average is how they determine this, and of course there's another component with the cherry sheet, but basically it's the previous 2 years. This one, previous 2 years, it dropped a little bit the average.
Right.
So it's 30 instead of 31.
Right.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that was really, as I thought about this more yesterday, if it's based on ridership, and we have put in a request for a second van, if the need arises, the numbers support that. And she said, you just make a case that there's a van. If we had not make that correction when we did with that money that was given to them to reduce their obligation, that would have further averaged us at a lower usage than warranted because somebody else was paying for it. And so it was good that from both standpoints, the monies was returned, and it also would have an impact 2 years down the road that we had at least in an amount that we had less people using the van when we didn't. And that's with one driver. So I think this is good. I think we're going up. And she also said that our number is going to be slightly higher of usage this year. So that's also going to help. And they're going to support us at a higher level of reimbursement because they're giving us the funding.
Okay.
Now, the other question was the quarry.
Quarry check.
Okay.
And that in conjunction is, basically, if you go into Section 8 of this contract, it requires a monthly report, but some of them are on an annual basis. It's the quarry check, it's the drug testing if required, and then the driver record from the Department of Motor Vehicles be submitted within 10 days or
At the end of the month.
minimum of 10 days or something before the end of each month.
Yeah.
If that's been done, then I think it answers the question.
Yeah. What she clarified is that the drug testing, the motor vehicle check, the license, everything gets done at the start of someone driving. It's not done periodically. With the new marijuana law, they put that into the contract because if there's an accident or they get tested, if we feel that there's some activity that we need to look into, then that gets reported to them. They handle everything. Our responsibility is to make sure that the reporting is in place, that an accident's reported immediately, that the driver, whatever the circumstances of the report, I'm sure there's a police that's called because they probably need that for documentation, that they're in compliance with all of those requirements for FRTA. So we really are we have a responsibility to the seniors, but more importantly, they are the ones that have the oversight. So we don't incur any costs on that level.
So we don't do a quarry check in June on them, they do it?
So on the quarry, there's two schools of thoughts. We need to, have a conversation with this, about this, as a board and, with the new director, because she said they either get done in July. Everybody that's working on the FRTA, that has contact on the FRTA, gets quarried in July. And some people do it that way, and you don't have to worry about, somebody's due in April, somebody's due in March. So, and that's fine. She said, however you decide, but it's normally 12 months from the date that they were hired. So let's say Richard is hired in January, so then his would be January 2018. So as long as you fill out a form to them and you say, this is where our folks are at in terms of when they were quarried last, and as long as you fill out the paperwork and you said, this is 12 months from that date they were checked, then everything's good.
Why does the contract say, according to this, that all should be done each June?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's why I just
That's the
asking that
difference.
question.
It just doesn't match the contract.
Well, that's the easier way to do it. If he's hired in January, you do it in January, and then you redo it in June. Like you do
Instead of
everybody
trying
in
to do it
June.
annually on their
Yeah. So
anniversary date, yeah.
I have an email from her that says, in terms, let's see what, that's not the quarry. Or is it, wait a minute, so many pieces of paper here. Any case, that's what she told me this morning. So it's up to
Should we change this
us.
contract, or should we change our procedure to match the contract? Which one should we do? It's just, this contract says one thing, and we're doing something a little bit different. That's the question.
I would recommend we change our procedure.
I said to her this morning, do we have to have it done July 1st? July 1st, Saturday, do we have to have it in place, the paperwork, so we can run the quarries, because they haven't been run? And and that's when she gave me these two scenarios. So she also said that only one person should be doing them. Well, we had agreed that only one person should do it, and that they are considered confidential, and that we have to make the person that we're running a query aware. They have to fill out a form to give us the release. They have a right to know that. So I told her that that would be done because, you know, we've learned some lessons here. So if you want to call her and you want to ask her if we're going to change the she only pointed out to clarification on the amount and also the query and what else? Oh, the marijuana. Because that's, you know, that's the change from FY8. I don't have the what. Do you have an extra copy? Because I gave you 2 copies. I didn't get a
I
copy.
have 2 copies here, but once I sign them, then I was gonna...
Okay, yeah, so we can make a copy.
I would make a
Submit to the board.
Yeah.
You're right.
I would make a recommendation that we don't change that contract, that we change our procedure. Because she's leaving and she wants to close everything up, right?
Yeah, she's
So
training somebody.
I don't think we need to
this
touch
morning.
that contract, just change our procedure.
Okay, so you'll change your procedure, so...
Is that a motion?
I make a motion that we change the procedure for when we conduct queries on the van drive.
I'll second that, to align with the contract.
Absolutely.
All right.
Is he working today?
Yeah. I called Andrew this morning and I said, make sure that everybody fills out the permission to run query, so then when, because Shannon's not in today, she'll be in on Wednesday, she can then put them through.
Well, if it's supposed to be done in June, today's the 29th, you know, but if you get everything in motion.
Well, I told Amy that, I mean, you know, everything that's occurred with this contract did not come on a timely basis. It came in last week. And that's why I was trying to push for them when they were met on the 27th, so at least we can, you know, get it into their hands.
Can we establish a timeline then to get it done by like the second week of July?
She just said Shannon can do it Wednesday.
Last year, the FY17 contract was signed by the board, or discussed, and it was signed by the chair on 6/15. So, you know, it comes around that time.
Well, a little later this year, Kim.
Yeah.
So,
And it could be that, you know, she's leaving and, you know, they fell behind, but Shannon gave it to me. She said, listen, this has to be returned right away. And I took it home on Friday when I was here for the luncheon, and then I touched base with her, and that's when we...
I think this year it's unfortunate that the holiday lined up with the dates in the beginning of July. I don't think that will probably happen again in another 20 years, I don't know.
I don't get that. Isn't July 4th always on July 4th?
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
But it changes the date. I think it changes the date. The date changes from year to year.
The date of the week.
Right, but it's not
always some, if it, the
Well, it
fourth
makes a
runs on a
difference because
Sunday.
everybody's going to be gone until
Oh,
Wednesday.
yeah, there's vacation period in there. Okay.
But we're open Monday, it's just...
No. Oh, we're all...
Has the town ever talked about, or did anybody ever talk to the town about having like a town query person so it's not even in the council on aging?
Well, I don't know whether that's...
That's so bizarre to me. Every town we talk to doesn't run their own query checks. I mean, council doesn't, the town does.
Was there a vote taken? I don't know if I missed that, I was ready.
We didn't vote yet.
No, we didn't
So let's
close the vote because
let's
another
vote
discussion.
on the contract. At least
Yeah, we voted. They said keep it the same. She seconded it.
Yeah.
But we didn't vote.
We didn't vote.
Yeah, I said
I-
because Lori asked a question, right?
Yes, so we're in the discussion phase.
Yeah.
No, we've already voted. Everyone voted. It was unanimous. We're going to say,
With the contract with
right.
June.
And now
Then,
is there a query person in town hall that can
run
perform
query.
the query? I was always under the impression, for some reason, I've heard this through the grapevine.
Oh, God.
You know, that wonderful song, that Council on Aging had to do its own query.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we're the only one probably of everywhere we talk to.
No.
that
Well,
does that.
I spoke to, because I did a lot of research, I talked to the town of Amherst. They have a human resource department. They're much bigger. I talked to Easthampton. I went to those two, you know, sort of, not the same size, but, and those, Easthampton has also a personnel department. I spoke to her, and she only does it. Linda puts the paperwork through, and then they do it, and they never get a copy back. It never goes back to the department head because of the nature of the sensitivity of the information.
I mean, the way that we do it here is sort of borderline, well, not maybe now, but a year ago, illegal, because too many damn people saw those quarries and too many people had access to them.
Yeah.
And had I known that, I can tell you, I never would have been on the board here. And my quarry's perfect, I would have, out of principle, knowing everybody that in there could read it, I would not have joined the board.
Yeah, yeah. And you
Just a
also,
quick question.
so you need to
current-
take this back to your board.
Right, that's why I'm just trying to take notes. So the current driver we have has had a quarry truck within the last 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all good. So if it takes us
A couple weeks then.
into July some point to get in line with the contract, and then we'll be on board with that,
Yeah.
things will be good there. So he is quarry checked, so we're good there with the
But
previous 12 months.
everybody that has some involvement of FRTA, deals with a consumer, gives information, takes a booking.
How do you know somebody ran Richards? How do we know what they did when Jennifer was here?
A report gets submitted to FRTA that everybody's in compliance. That's what the thing is.
And all Jim is getting at is, if he's already quarried, and it's within the year period, contract can be signed, sent, and then come June, as Patrice has said, June of 2018, we are in 17, right? We will quarry, again, we will be in accordance with the
Right.
contract.
Well, we would probably need to do his now, so it will last until next June.
So the other part of this that I would ask you is then, so we're going to be in compliance as of June, do we then query everybody regardless of whether they were, like for instance Shannon, because they're the people that are in place now, Shannon and Andrew were query.
I think we should do it.
What
And we
month?
don't have to
It
question it.
says each
We'll have to
June,
do it
so
again.
if it's each June,
Absolutely.
it's
And
each
we might as well
June.
be
It
in
doesn't
compliance
cost
with
us
that
anything, we
contract.
don't pay anything, it's just a
We
matter
don't have to
that.
deal with different dates. I mean, as long as we're all compliance with that contract, everybody who does that.
Right, right.
Well, we should push to have the town administrator or the PBPB or somebody that's
Absolutely.
outside of our area
Yeah,
responsible for this. And-
I absolutely
I would
agree
never
with
put it
that.
on personal policy.
Well, somebody that...
I would go, the town administrator, I think, yeah,
That
because.
was my first
You
choice,
know,
was town
yeah,
administrator.
because too much information leaks out, and I just think it's just, I mean, like, when this woman in Easthampton, she said, Nilda, you have a picture, you have a social, identity theft, anything, it's, you know, this is a big responsibility, and I said, you know, so, anyway. I've never seen a quarry, so. I could be a backup, but I don't want to be the person in an emergency. Okay,
So let's make a motion that we try to transfer that to the town administrator.
Yeah, I would ask Jim to put it on his agenda.
yeah, the select board has to make that
Yeah.
decision, and they, you know, they're going through some changes too, so it depends on, have you looked at the job description of the town administrator?
No.
They'll be here 24 hours a day with the duties that they have, but
That's right,
anyway.
they're salaried, they can be.
Okay, so in any case, somebody gave me an agenda and it got buried here. So
have
Jim
more.
has stepped out, so all I'm saying is that from putting this to bed, everybody's comfortable that we, and I'll get a signed copy, you should get one too, because I think you've asked, I don't know if you want one. Does anybody who wants a copy of this for their own?
That's the FRTA contract.
Yeah, this is the FY17, I don't have the 18 because I usually make a copy once it's signed.
I don't need a copy, I have enough paper at home.
Yeah, I mean, if we have, I mean, it's good to always see it before it's signed, but once it's signed, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to see what I'm signing or agreeing to.
No, that you're agreeing to, so this is good. Okay, so anyway, so we took, the agenda you printed was not the same agenda that
It is the agenda that you sent me, right there in front of you.
oh, okay, darling, thank you.
Did you happen to check in town hall today to see if they had Liz Fletcher's application?
Who was I gonna check with?
I don't know, whoever
I
gets
have no
sent to.
idea, you know, I mean,
What did that person send a letter for?
The board.
The board? Oh, okay. So there's one more.
well, I told you I had 3, and that's what I have, but, you know, there's
You don't have
another one,
hers.
I haven't gotten that. Okay, well, anyway, so we're gonna go into,
Sorry.
so the
I
minutes
run down and get it.
that I was referring to just in case, because I think we approved a set of minutes
Rated order.
at the last meeting, Lori, and then you were gonna try to do the ones of the meeting that we had. So you gave me the exec for
I
June
gave-
7th.
Yeah, and I gave
we
you
did
a
the
copy of
regular.
this, the nightmare minutes.
What, 4 pages?
Well, the fourth page is pretty minimal. It's,
Okay, so we're gonna,
are you going to read those? Because my water is sitting on my kitchen table, so I'm going to run down to the senior center.
Do you want me to go?
No, I don't know.
all right, so
You didn't read those wonderful minutes.
okay. She has all this editorial comments when she gives us information that I get off track. So last night, and I thought that Lori responded to me, but she must have been at that concert. The last copy of minutes that I sent, of agenda, was including that the select board member, a select board member was going to come to the meeting with the FRTA questions. You know, I needed to kind of track that we were not taking this off the record or something. And so that was the agenda that I sent out, and now I can't put my hands on my copy because, where's the, which of the minutes that she said we need to approve? Is these?
June 7th.
June 7, the
June 7th.
multi-page?
Yeah.
The chapter.
How do people feel about proceeding? Because we have much to talk about with regard to the resumes, plus what's going to happen this afternoon, the driver situation. I mean, those are the,
Are we meeting next Wednesday in our normal monthly meeting?
I'm gonna ask to change that because the select board is meeting on July 11, and I thought we tried to change it for the 12th, because they will have voted on if we have a recommendation. Actually, Kathy is a reappointment. Now supposedly the board has to approve that. We've never done that. No, Jennifer just said, you know, you have to go and fill out the paper to the town clerk. Everybody just said you're staying on now, you know, but I'm gonna question that because we never did a letter.
No.
Never. I mean, and so.
And I'm going away tomorrow.
Oh, well, well, I didn't know. Anyway,
Not going on, but
in any
going on
case,
from
we
here.
have to have an understanding, and I think, particularly because Janet has sent me these very edgy emails, very polite, but she said, and I mean this very positive, you know. I shouldn't say edgy, I should say, there's a little in-between message. She said to me, like last night, she sent me an email, she said, I'm under the treasurer's report, is therefore, I don't know, nobody has told me what I'm supposed to report.
Treasury report, FRTA, and I said, what am I supposed to report on?
So, but that, I didn't want to say too much in the email, but I think it's important that we have an orientation
Yeah, I
for
do too.
members.
Thank you.
To say, you know, this is how we know.
Should've just said that.
Listen, we're in a change because we were never included in this. Jennifer never had that conversation. We learned by showing up and asking questions. It's the God's honest truth. I knew more because I was more persistent, but quite frankly, it was just a case.
And
that-
yet she persists.
Okay, so anyway, so I
guess
I
I'm
will support
asking a
it.
lot of questions too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're not meant to be.
And it's not to
anything other than-
exclude you, it's just
No,
that
no,
we
no,
have
I don't feel
been
it. I'm like-
under siege with so much
Yeah.
stuff that, so in any case, so does anybody have an opinion about this, what we plan to do and how it's going to proceed and, no?
Let's just go forward. That's right. Do the best we can.
Marching
So you're thinking we're not meeting next week, to answer my original
Correct.
question?
So should we take a vote on that we would like to reschedule our normal Wednesday meeting to the following Wednesday? That will line up somewhat with the July 11th Select Board meeting, because they've asked us, will we have the paperwork, the recommendation for a board seat? We have to do Kathy's and then she can come in and be sworn in before the next meeting.
We can't do that on the 5th? I guess my concern is we have more interviews to do as well. And I'm gone from the 15th to the 22nd. I'm sure other vacations are coming up. So, I mean, if we have to have 2 meetings to get through that, I guess I would.
Well, that's why I put board schedule. I'm very much aware of this, and the senior center is going to be, oh, that's okay. So I think we took care of everything.
The last question, sorry, was you have the Exhibit A?
It's a brochure, here, it's a little booklet that's given to the consumer, guiding them as to what the fares are and blah, blah, blah.
Should we staple, usually Exhibit A's, if they're identified in a contract?
Well, that was sent to us, I
So
printed
can I have
that.
this?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just attach it to the back, so
Yeah.
if you have to for some reason, that's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
Super.
So you're going to sign it and give it to us or not?
Well, I'm going to forward these answers to the board.
Oh, okay.
To make sure that we're happy with that.
Okay.
And so, just want to review this one more time. I got
Thank you.
I understand 30,000. The Cory check has not been done per contract, but it is current. And you voted to align yourself with the contract, so that going forward, that will be good.
Right.
And I got Exhibit A. That's it. Perfect.
And we're in good standing. Amy had only the best things to say about us. And she wanted to know whether I was still going to oversee the contract. Said, no, this was just temporary. I want to go back to my other life.
They've always been very good to us too, because if we go over, they fill in for that. They give us that money.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As long as we tell them in advance, they always have this little pie
Oh, so
of
it's
money.
not, it says maximum of 30, but if it goes over,
If it
they
goes
work
over,
with you.
they make up the difference.
That's why we've gotten this high, because it used to be 22, then it went up to 25. I mean, it just, but one year was 24. So, but this is about the, I think it's a good peak that's going to give us that leverage. I mean, we'll have to get another driver permanently, but that's another story.
Okay.
So,
All right, I'm good.
but thank you, thank the board on our behalf that they were as flexible, because,
Where Jim typically leaves.
We were talking earlier about Cory checks and to see
Yeah.
if we can centralize them. Is that something the select board can address and maybe have the town administrator?
If you have Ella put it on our agenda, this way we can address it, we can talk about it and try to...
Yeah, not just for us, but for...
yeah, we have to check whether we have to do our own.
Okay.
But it's really for the confidentiality.
Yeah.
When they're done, nobody needs to know when somebody's done and where it gets filed. That's all.
It'd be nice if the police handle it, but I don't know. if
They
that's
can't,
possible.
because I talked to
Michael
the
too, and
chief.
they can't.
Yeah, they do their own, and they're under another system, and they can't do ours and
But like
vice
legally,
versa.
the town is supposed to have a piece of paper that says what you're looking for and what would prevent somebody from being hired. And I don't know that
Yeah.
the town has that, because I've never seen it. Like, nobody could give me anything when I ran Shannon's that said this would prevent her from having that job.
That's
And what would prevent somebody to be in the Council on Aging is different than what would prevent somebody in finance.
Well, in the contract I read, there are things that define it for
For them.
this,
Right, yeah,
this,
yeah,
but
right.
not for,
Not for everybody else.
not for everybody else. I
Well,
understand.
just to give you another example, the quarries that are run on the volunteer pool of people, I've been told that there has been at least, on occasion, there was like a 5-page query of information on one person, and I was told that it was suspicious, and they kind of let it go.
That's illegal.
I would not. You have to notify the person that something's on their record, that you give them the opportunity to correct it. You just don't run and have this information. And nobody in that office had the training, the ability, the authority to put somebody in somebody's home that may have a questionable query.
It might be nice to align something, again, with this contract, having parameters of where somebody has to fall either they pass or they fail. So right now, we get a Cory check, and at this point, if there's anything there, we don't know if that disqualifies them or not. We don't have that in writing, I
Right.
understand. That might be a good thing to put on the select board's agenda.
But whether it disqualifies them or not, if something shows up, that person by law has to be called in, because it could be in there wrong, and unless they're notified it's there, they don't have a chance to correct it.
Correct.
Whether we want to hire them or not, they are supposed to be notified if their Cory shows anything.
It's like a bad credit report.
Yes.
You know, if you don't have, so this, when you run a Cory in another job, that all is gonna go in. And then some behavior that didn't get picked up here, or, it's really huge. I mean, we learned a lot. Patrice did a lot of research. I did, and I have voluminous printouts from all these different places that I contacted, that I said, oh my God, this is a job. This is a job, and I don't want that responsibility. So,
Well, the whole Shannon debacle that everybody knew she had, thought she hadn't been Cory, and there was like talk about it for months and complaints, was because nobody saw it to be able to share if it showed anything or not. Like, nobody,
well, yeah.
nobody should have known whether or not, I mean, yes, she got Cory.
Yeah, there was a violation of confidentiality
Yeah.
by the staff, because nobody would have known unless the staff said, no, she hasn't been Cory. 'cause
And
they
there's
were doing
massive
it.
fines for that.
Yeah, big
And they would be for the town, not for
individual.
the council or the
Yeah,
individual.
Yeah, so we're gonna correct that. And, I mean, from an operational standpoint, we're not gonna be surprised like we have been. I mean, Dorothy and I have been here the longest from that, but that was not part of our scope of responsibility. We were shocked. So we're here to correct it.
Perfect.
We're on the job.
Like I said, Dr. Velda should put it on our agenda, and we can talk about it.
All right, so if you're gonna be on vacation, enjoy.
Okay.
And we'll be around.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll be able to do something by July 11th. That's what we're discussing now.
Thank you.
It's just that we're getting tired. We're old.
One
Would you
foot
please
after the
remember
other.
that we're old?
I have to wait 4.5 more years before I can run the bus. I saw it.
Oh, I don't know.
We're catching up, Jim.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, can I address the next meeting? If we wait until the 12th, the board is meeting on the 11th. We want to submit a name for nomination to the board, then we need to meet on the 5th and choose some, find somebody that we are in agreement with.
All right.
I can tell you, orientation where I work got changed so I can be here on the first Wednesday. There's no way I can be here on the second Wednesday, because I can't keep playing that game with them.
So I say we meet on July 5th. And then it can be submitted to the board on the 11th. And then the next time we meet, we will have our
You
separate-
realize that there are people on vacation.
There'll be enough
There's
of us
always going to
here.
be people on vacation.
There'll be enough of us here that will be able to take a vote.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the board contacting the people to come in to meet them.
Oh, well, if they
That's
can't
fine.
make it, that's their problem. They're disqualified.
And yeah, and you certainly don't have to interview everybody that puts in a,
I mean,
We need to take a look.
yeah, you look at the...
look at them and
see the
choose
documents,
2 or
yeah.
3 to interview or talk to, but not, just
All right.
to apply them and get you an interview.
Okay, so do you want to then look at this, make this part of the meeting today, that we look at those?
Yes. I mean, we're stalling on everything. We're stalling on the van driver, we're stalling on the director. Now we have to have a board member. We need to start getting things done.
I don't think we're stalling on the van driver.
Well,
We interviewed them, now we're meeting again, and we have to make a decision, and I don't consider that stalling.
Can we get through this? The minutes?
Yes. You haven't read that?
All right, are we meeting on the 5th or not?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
do we have a vote?
Ever seen this?
I vote for the 5th of July.
I'll second the motion.
5th of July, Patrice, is
And you know-
that agreeable to you?
When it comes to my time that I can't make it, this board better support me, because I've accommodated a lot, so.
We'll help you.
And Ms. Chair, before we leave today, we will sit and get an agenda so we don't have 5 different agendas and people wondering, what time are we meeting? Are we
Okay.
not meeting? So,
Everybody read the notes.
Well, you're supposed to stay in line with me, and you've just missed the boat.
It's hard to stay in.
I know. She calls me, then that stupid thing, I went into my draft. I don't know how, but anyway. Okay, so give us a few minutes to look at this, and then I will tell you that there was a cancellation. Somebody pulled back on an interview.
Today?
It came last night,
For today?
for
Yeah.
today.
1 o'clock
So we
or 2
only-
o'clock?
2 o'clock. The 1 o'clock canceled. I called the 2 o'clock at 8:30 this morning to see if she can move up, and she can't.
Okay.
Can?
So she's at 2.
Yeah.
Jennifer Day, right? At 2 o'clock. Jennifer Day at 2 o'clock.
Patrice, this is yours.
We're on the record here.
You don't need to read it.
I'm doing all this.
It's already been.
See, that's what we have to. Oh, my God. You know what, I think we're going to table these. I think this is too much for us to.
I mean, if we're going to have a meeting, that's why I was asking about the meeting.
Yeah.
Today's
I mean,
really about the interview
I think there's too
process and
much
all that.
This is our homework to read it and
Maybe
come
our-
back.
Yeah, maybe our.
We have to go on the
That
agenda.
works for me.
Meeting.
Okay, good.
This is first
All right,
agenda
so
item.
first item will be review of
Yes.
minutes,
Yeah.
June 7th minutes.
Yeah, okay. So the other, oh God, I'm looking at the 17th. So the FRTA, we've taken care of it, so I just wanted to beat, this was before. Okay, so do we want to, I guess, let's go to an easy one, board schedule. So we're meeting on the 5th. We're going to try to interview all or 1 or 2, whatever, for the board,
Vacancy.
vacancy.
Okay.
And we'll review whatever we got. I don't have Cheryl's, is it Cheryl? Not Cheryl. Who's the person that you said? told
I've
you?
got a whole list of them.
No, we're talking about board positions, somebody. Because some of them got sent by Velda, so,
Elizabeth Fletcher texted me and said she applied.
did it go to the town website? Because I checked with Shannon and Andy yesterday about the mail, whether somebody had dropped it off.
She said, you want me to email it to you or just send it to town hall? I swear to God, she emailed it to me, but I can't find it. But she said she sent it. Attention to Council on Aging, do you get to pick your own people? I said, board votes on who? And she applied because when I asked her to, there wasn't anybody. She's probably like a 28-year-old kid, her parents own Fletcher Farm, she's a social worker, working on her master's in social work.
All right, so let's...
She's been a volunteer here for years and never been called, and every year they run her Cory check and never
Well, they should...
call her to do anything. So if you're not going to use the person, you really shouldn't still be
Yeah.
calling them.
Yeah, it's like when you're hired, the query is run after. Okay, so I'm wondering if Velda, but she's pretty good about forwarding things.
Do you want me to check with her, see if anything's come in?
Well, let's organize. So the next, so the van driver, there was an additional resume that came in
Oh, there
that I
was.
think I included in this packet, didn't I?
I have a comment with regard to that. I mean, we unfortunately did not set a deadline date. Now, we've interviewed 2 people, and I don't think we need to interview a 3rd because it was real late and we have a good candidate.
Okay, what is the board?
I was quite happy with one particular
Yes.
candidate.
Yeah, I
I
was
missed
too.
the interview of the first one, and that's the one you're all approving, so
Yes.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
Makes 2 of us.
Okay.
And if we don't get back to him soon, we're gonna lose him.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Because
hurry up.
he was being wooed by his present situation. He was going ziplining with his grandson. I said, oh my God.
Don't get hurt.
But as far as personality and the experience, he said he would have to kind of get a little familiar with the roads. And the second candidate just had inflexibility with the schedule.
Yeah, and the person that we would really like to have,
Yeah.
the first person, really talked about a lot of scenarios that we should have, not should have, but that we would have asked questions about. He told us about things that he did with the seniors.
Right.
And particular situations, which left us feeling well-grounded with this person.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to make him an offer, then we can tell this person we're in the process of making an offer, and if something falls through, we'll keep his resume on file. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
If that's, rather than...
Yeah, but I feel perfectly comfortable saying, that we needed, the unknown variable with the second was that he was trying to sort of get an exact, what were the hours? Was he driving to a particular destination and all that?
Traffic seemed to be a problem.
Yes, absolutely.
Working
Construction on
too
the
many-
roads.
Yeah.
Springfield came up in the discussion, and he didn't like that. I mean,
Yeah,
he didn't want to go
he didn't
anywhere near
like that.
construction, and it was not
So,
good.
anyway, so,
And you
yeah,
don't get a lot of Bay State
Oh, yeah.
rides.
right, oh, they're back and forth. I mean, Richard just, and I said, sometimes he starts as early as 7 and he's back here at 5. It's an unknown. It's an
Okay.
unknown.
So do we need to vote on this?
Yeah, I think you guys need to, whoever was here, which
I
is...
make a motion that we make an offer to the gentleman from Easthampton.
Okay,
I second that.
all right, and you weren't here,
I'm
so...
in favor.
Oh, you're in favor because...
I wasn't here.
Yeah, because you support our judgment.
Well, then there's me. No, I mean, I would only
Would you
abstain
feel the
and
same
defer
way?
to you because I trust your judgment, yes.
Me too. I said to the folks that when I spoke to him on the phone, I had the same feeling that they got when they saw him.
Yeah.
He walked in, he sat there, he smiled, he was engaging, he was pleasant, welcoming, and that's really important for the seniors.
Very at ease.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking about what he did or does.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay, so we have, you abstained because you weren't here, Miss Patrice.
No, she agreed.
Oh, you agree, I'm sorry. You have those shades on, I don't know what...
She's movie
Trying
star.
to read.
Oh, with shades?
I keep doing
That's
this.
your reading glasses, too.
Yeah, I've done that sometimes. Okay, so this is good. So we're meeting
July 5th.
July 5th.
At
We're,
what time?
July 5th, I guess we'll meet at 9:30.
Can we meet at 9? I mean, is it 9:30 for...
No, we're going to stick to 9:30. Works out for me, and we
Okay.
went to that to accommodate. We can't have too many changes.
No,
Enough is enough.
that's okay. I wasn't here before.
like to
So
meet
I'm
at
asking
8.
a question. I can, let's take a
It
vote on
went from
that.
9 to 9:30.
Okay,
We'd like
thank
to
you for
find out what
explaining.
Gloria and I have been on the phone sometimes. She said to me, Nilda, is it too early to call you? I said, no.
I can't believe you called me at 7:30 this morning.
I said, I'm up at 5. I mean, sometimes Shannon called me at 6. I mean, I'm like emailing and, it's not like I'm sitting around doing, I don't sit in front of the TV.
Can I feel
but
free,
it's-
though, to ask a question without
Sure.
feel like I get jumped? I mean, I just said, can we make it 9? And I felt like,
I'm only kidding, you know?
Okay.
It was in a fun
You
way.
have
It
to
was in a
listen.
fun way.
Well,
You're very serious.
You have to get to, they have to get you know.
Okay, I do.
Why
Okay.
not consider earlier? I mean,
So
You know,
9:30
it's
is
like the
fine.
same comment with my, if I need time, then I hope you guys support me. That's so me. I mean,
I took that very
we're
seriously.
not very rigid. We
Okay.
have fun.
Does this...
You'll know when I'm
Does
upset.
this most recent
I think I've
applicant
seen it.
for the job need to be called and said, we already filled the position?
Who?
The person, the application that we got for the van driver just recently.
Application.
Well, I wouldn't call him until the other guy accepts.
Oh,
Yeah, because of...
Yeah.
Yeah. We would like to make him an offer, so I think we have to do that today.
How
Because
qualified was the third applicant?
it was, they had some experience, but not solid. I mean, I think
Okay.
he lives in Easthampton too.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to work. We're such a jolly group.
Hank definitely had qualifications.
Yes, yeah. Very nice. I think I gave them. Okay, so moving along.
So 9:30 on July 5th.
Okay, so now, what I didn't do with the second batch of resumes, I didn't code them. So I did a little, which I didn't make a copy because I came straight out.
Yes, you did.
What do you mean didn't code them?
The ones for the
Did I do a
director.
summary page?
The director?
Just
Yeah, yeah.
this.
You did the copy, yeah.
Oh, God, all right, well, I couldn't find
I'm
it.
guessing the ones I got doesn't have today's in it,
Right.
No,
Today's?
no.
today's applicant.
So,
And then we got one
had
more
those already.
after
For the
that.
director?
yeah, from Velda.
Yeah.
So, let me
You got one
just,
more
let me
after
just
that?
update you on, and we can do this without going into any.
Here it
um,
is, here.
So I said the number one, you have this from last time, were you here?
No, I don't have
Oh,
it.
you don't
No,
have
we're
this?
gonna give this out too.
Okay, so, but before we go into, so let me just, so, 1 and 2, we can go into Vicky because she has a copier. She did get her new
Okay.
copy, right? So 1 took herself out of the running. Number 2 took herself out of the running last night. She sent me an email. Her parents are aging and she needs to be available. The last
They were
one.
aging last week.
Number 4, I tried again, because I got a message from the office staff that she tried calling because she hadn't heard, and I called her, I sent her another email. This woman doesn't respond. I don't understand how difficult it could be that she can't get an I've been doing this from, back when we,
Well, if I was hiring her and that all happened, I wouldn't care anyway, because I wouldn't hire her, because she
Yeah.
can't obviously
Communicate.
respond.
it's just, it's been frustrating. So the only one we have is number 3, and as I said, she's coming in at 2 because of that. So then I have 5 on the list, the second group. I identified it as the second group, and then that's the one that I did separate sheet. But I just kind of, when I made the first contact, if they responded or not, and then after, just to kind of give me, because this has been a multi-layer. So that's where we're at with that. So the question that I posed is, do we need to, how we did it last time, we just said yes or no, the ranking was shared at the meeting. And Janet gave me her ranking for the first group, and then I did have a conversation with her and told her would you like to ask the question that you asked me, that I said I didn't answer because I didn't want to represent
I forget
other
which
people?
one was that?
Okay, so I think if we're going to talk about a particular person, we need to go into executive session only because it may reflect something about, by number. We were talking about these individuals by number. Do you feel comfortable doing that way, and then?
Sure. Yeah, I guess, when we interview them or when we set up interviews, I guess I don't understand why we assign a number to them, because it's open to the public, correct? The interview process?
There was one person that asked that, information, because I did include this in the email that I sent on the first one, these are public meetings, do you want it closed or not? There was one person, actually 2 people that expressed that. So what I discussed at the last meeting was that we were getting a set amount of questions to be decided. We were going to ask those questions of the applicants, the same questions to each, so that there'd be uniformity. And also we would identify them by number if we were going to talk, only for purposes of our discussion. It wasn't the fact that we were ranking them because we favored one versus the other. And so that was the only thing that I did that I thought would protect. The other group, I haven't done that because all I did was contact 2 of them, and I said, this is where we are in the process. We're going to be interviewing some people on Thursday, the 29th. What the board decides to do with the second tier is unknown to me, so.
So we have, at the moment, we have 5 viable applicants, am I correct?
I think we have another one. We have the, what's her first, don't say, just the initial, the one that you said came, oh, this one. This came on the internet from,
I thought that was for,
I didn't have that one.
what's that one?
is that for the board or for the job?
Look at the letter.
No,
She did a cover letter.
Is it for the, what she's
And why don't we
asking?
have applications from all of them?
No waging director,
too. I
to wait, see the council, we need to change it to the senior center.
Oh, that's the one that's interested in her board?
The one that's interested in the board is...
No, she calls the council on aging director, I'm sure she's talking about the senior center.
But that's not the person you mentioned.
No, I know, but I know her, and
This is the one.
All right, so well, let's put her in here.
I'd just say hire her.
Okay. All right, well, let's not form opinions now.
Should I second that?
Okay. So, let me,
This
so
is
in
number
order,
9, was that number 9 or no,
yeah, I would say that, yeah,
on your list?
this was the one that Velda, she did everything.
Okay.
I mean, I just printed it this
That's
morning.
somebody else, yeah, it's not,
Yeah. So I think we're down to
At number 10.
6.
yeah, this is 10. I didn't have 10.
No, I don't have 10 either.
Who's the number
So we need to
9?
add 10.
On this one. That's
Yes, right in the
nine.
corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right, it did.
So what are our next steps? What are we
Oh my
doing
God, I
next?
feel like all right, so let's, in order to be able to have a fluid conversation and be able to express what our evaluation, I would suggest we go into it, just to kind of. 'cause
I agree.
I know somebody's going to
'Cause we're gonna slip.
say something and.
Loose lips.
And at this point, so we need to have a roll call to go into executive session.
Winkler, aye.
Lori Loisel, aye.
Patrice Mackey, aye.
Janet Kane, aye.
Putnam, aye.
Nilla Cohen, aye. We're going into executive session under Massachusetts General Law 30A, Section 21A, 1, reasons for convening executive session to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competency of an individual, or discuss the discipline or dismissal of or complaints or charges against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. Discuss strategy. That's the important component of this. You're on. Okay, we're back to open session. Temporarily, we're going to take a 15-minute break.
That would take an hour.
Okay, we're going to take an hour because we're going to go vote. And so we'll resume our meeting at, we'll come back to executive session and then at 2 o'clock.
I don't vote, I won't be able to park.
Can we leave? Can we leave our things?
Yeah, you can't go, I mean, it'd be,
You vote right
yeah.
here, right?
Take your purse, though.
No.
Red is on, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're back in session, 2 o'clock, and the afternoon was going to be dedicated to interviews for the director position, and we will conduct this in executive session, even though Jennifer did not request it, but in terms of the uniformity for everyone, then we're going to do it, and then the questions won't be out there.
So we
Because
should record it then?
No, I'm saying we have, I'm stating that we're going to be going, and then I have to read it, and then we'll have a roll call, and
I'm still learning. I'm new.
I have to do an intro, because I said we were going to start again at
Yes,
2
yes,
o'clock. I
okay.
just can't just...
Thank you,
No.
sorry.
Okay, so what was I going to do? So that's why we're going to go into executive sessions, so we're going to have a roll call.
Kathy Winkler,
Lori Loisel,
Patrice Mackey.
Janet Kane.
Dorothy Putnam.
Milton Cohen, and we have with us a candidate. I'm sure they know who you are. Okay, so let me read the executive session requirement. Massachusetts General Law 30A, Section 21A1, reasons for convening executive session to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competency of an individual, or discuss the discipline or dismissal or complaints or charges against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. Discussion of strategy. That's where we're putting that under the tab, because some people have requested. With that being said, we will enter into executive session. Are we planning to go back to open? We are? Okay. Was that the consensus to go over anything that we had discussed earlier in exec? Or do we just say exec, we'll close it and we're not going to reconvene in open?
Just reconvene and decide.
Okay, so after this session, we will return to open session to be determined how long.
Also, we're not finished with the agenda for our next meeting.
Oh, okay, all right. With that being said, we will close. We're back in open session,
Yeah. We're deciding on the agenda for our next meeting.
and we're supposed to have a roll call that we're back, so I didn't do that before.
Loisel.
Becky.
Kane?
Nilda Cohen, aye. Because we're supposed to record that everybody was still in the presence of whatever.
So the next set of candidates, when are we going to try to target an interview for that? Should we, I mean, last time, I think we set up the 29th and tried to work everybody to that date.
So we said that we were gonna do,
Can we do it, try and shoot for Thursday the 6th? No?
I found out that that one candidate that we were talking about, she won't be back until the 11th.
whose phone is it? Oh,
Catherine Murphy.
okay.
So we won't have to interview her.
Yeah, because if we want to submit to the board, they're meeting on the
Oh, yeah,
11th.
oh, yeah, that's
Is it
right.
an emergency or can I call you back? Okay, thank you, bye.
All right, what
So
about,
how many board vacancies, how many board vacancies?
One.
No, I know that. The mine is for us.
4.
that's what you asked.
4 interviews? Yeah.
Can we make them 10 minutes long?
Yes, of course.
Oh, for the board,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plenty.
Oh, yeah. It's really,
Why do you want to be on the board?
Can we just call them a meet and greet?
Sure.
to everybody at the same time?
No,
Oh, okay.
but could you come in for?
I would schedule them 15 minutes apart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
that
don't even need
works.
15 minutes.
So that's an hour, so we could schedule
10
a couple of directors.
About 10 minutes. 5, we think it's gonna take 5, schedule them 10 minutes apart.
I mean, basically,
15,
what
just so
Janet
that you
and I,
know.
all the board said to us is,
Excuse me.
why do you want to be on the board?
Yeah.
That's because we got away with avoiding
Especially the
the
man.
tough ones here.
But there wasn't anybody else, right?
Yeah, there wasn't anybody. Oh, there's 3 people.
Yeah, they're 3, and she's not interested anymore, so you don't have to worry.
Well, of course, because you got on.
That's true. But I certainly wasn't expecting it that night. I'm thinking, I'm sitting here, it's going to be a nice quiet evening,
Yeah, right.
well, that didn't last.
You know
long.
what, and to be, this is going to be on camera, so I'll say it. We were pushing to, or at least I was pushing, and I went to Bob Markle and he went to Charlie. And as Dorothy has said in the past, we had a protocol. We did it, it worked out very well. Everybody was happy, we did it very respectfully, and we selected, but we didn't have a large pool of people. So when we said the board deserves and the respect to make a recommendation, and they didn't, but everybody that was here voted for you two guys. I mean, because it was, you didn't vote?
I wasn't here.
Oh, she wasn't here? Okay. So it wasn't, it was a done deal, so we said, I'm not going to the meeting, what for?
Yeah, because, I
didn't know.
believe me,
I was upstairs at a
That's
finance
right,
committee
somebody
meeting. Somebody
came running
texted
up
me and
for
said, you
Janet
might want to
and
get
downstairs.
downstairs. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, we were,
Now, let me ask you,
because
the
I
paperwork.
assumed it was going to come through the board.
After we have our 15 minutes with each of these people that want to be on the board,
No, 5 minutes.
whatever, we have to do paperwork to send to the select board.
We just do a letter and say that
Okay,
we're
and then
recommending this,
put
we're
my name on
putting
the
forth
letter.
this person.
Mine is a renewal. Is that a required
Yours
paperwork?
is a reappointment, so it's different, so.
Is there
we're
paperwork
gonna-
required?
Yeah, we have to do that, the board has voted to
Okay, a letter.
reappoint you. Yeah.
No more form FY
No, no, no,
XYZ 10 or something?
no, no.
You don't have to go to the town clerk?
Once the Board of
Okay.
Selectmen sign
Okay.
off on the
All right.
paperwork, then she goes and gets
Yeah.
sworn in.
Yeah.
So, like, when you call these people, are you gonna say, could you just come in for 5 minutes at this time and let us know
I'm
why you
gonna
want to be
say,
on the board?
Yeah, we've had a number of people express an interest. In light of that, we're going to do short, just to, as a courtesy to, face to face. And brief, and then, it's not a complex, but we really feel that everybody would benefit from that.
Right.
That's
Well,
all.
your
Let them know.
friend, or the woman you knew that's in Greece,
Yes.
is not here next
No.
week. And I have a feeling Josie's on vacation next week, so I don't think there's going to be 4 interviews.
Oh.
Josie came to
She
our
already
meeting,
came,
and
right,
she
yeah,
said
yeah.
that she wasn't going to be available, and so that, and Lori knows Catherine too.
Right.
And so I know her
representation.
visually,
Okay.
I have never had a conversation with her.
But we don't have to have 4 scheduled
Right,
interviews, I
right,
guess is what
right,
I'm
right.
saying, so.
So it's really Joe and Liz.
We could
Okay.
actually do some interviews for the director on that day.
That's what I'm saying.
What day?
The
So
5th,
we're meeting.
Oh, the 5th.
right, there's no
Okay.
reason
At
not
least
to.
have
Let's
2 or
see,
3
so
in.
let's put it on the regular agenda, because let me
You're not here on the 5th?
No, she can't
I
take the
can
whole
come, but I
day.
can't take a day off from work to,
But the 6th was going to work?
yeah, but
Yeah, well, that's her secret. She has Thursdays off.
I'm supposed to have Thursdays
She-
off. I was at work this morning when she called me at 7:30, and as soon as I leave here, I'm going back to work. But it's supposed to be my day off.
It's Thursday.
And she said.
But I was just gone for 2 weeks, so I'm playing catch up.
Yeah.
And my
she said to me,
93-year-old needs her wine delivered.
Listen, that's a priority.
It is to her.
Join the wine of the, what is it, the wine of the
No,
rum
her
club?
wine gets mixed in my office because it's
Okay.
not on
All right,
alcoholic.
okay. I'm only kidding. Okay, so I started to say, so that agenda, we can do, there's some housekeeping that we have to do. You gave me the copies of all the minutes that were missing from the website. We have to post minutes to the website, and she gave me May 16th, and,
All the ones you wanted anyway.
Right. So that has to be, we have to re-vote on those, the people that were here. We have to,
Why? They were already approved.
Yeah, we went through the meetings, yeah.
They just didn't.
did you read that they were approved in the meeting, in the minute?
It should be in there, I won't guarantee it, but it should be in there.
I haven't read them. but-
My guess is that it's probably in
Well, we
every
have to
single one of
record
those.
it we have to record it on the record, that they've been, found, and we're gonna post them to the website. I mean,
Can I just make a quick suggestion? Patrice's time is limited. Can we do the interviews first? And then she can leave, and the rest of the board members can clean up the rest of this stuff. How would that work?
that's fine.
What are you talking about?
We'll do the interviews first.
On the 5th.
So then if you
For
have,
the board first.
yeah,
We could do both. We could do, I mean, if,
I think, leave what, normally you'd like to leave
That's
before
pretty
12.
short notice for a candidate interview, though. I just
A week?
wondered.
Well, that's fine.
I talked to them, I
Okay.
told them that this thing was moving, so, if I hadn't made the first call, I would say, okay, this is completely cold, and it is a vacation week, and
Yeah.
people can be away, but
well, we're
Wait a
starting,
minute, are you talking about,
both.
The 5th.
oh,
we're starting at 9:30. By 10, we will have finished the board vacancies.
yes.
Because we're down to like 2 people that are available.
right, we could be done with it by 20 of.
Yeah, so we have our first person in at 10, and the next one in at 10 or 11. We'll give them 10:50, 11:30, they're done.
I thought we were talking about 9:30 and 9:45. 9:45 and 10.
Oh, you're talking about the board members?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
talking
fine.
about.
That's
Oh, we're talking about both.
both, and
Oh,
interviewing at
and
least
so wait,
two
the rest of them on
candidates.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
So let's say, we start at 9:30, we get done with let's say 10 of 10, 9:50.
Or we could do it in reverse, do the director positions first and just hold off the board thing until the end. Start with the directors, 9:30.
Well, they're gonna have to come in, though.
That's all right.
Is it gonna be harder for them to come in the middle of the day as opposed to first thing in the morning?
Well, it's the same thing for the
Well, the candidates, I mean, at
Is Joe
this
Slattery
point, is
retired?
everybody?
Well, he
Yeah.
works here 18 hours a week.
Yeah, because they needed him because of the history. There was not, when Tom came, there was, most of them are not working, I think, of the people that we,
This
oh, no,
guy seems like he's retired.
no, I'm talking about the candidates. So
Oh, the candidates.
Williams is not working, Lanahan's not working,
They could be on vacation.
Epstein's not working,
That's the list.
Shannon is here. Who's the other person? There was another
Andrew,
Connor.
Kristen, Deborah, Shannon,
Yeah.
Joan,
So most of them are not working. I don't know about Connor.
Leanne Connor.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, that was the van drivers.
Yeah. Okay, oh, and also, am I gonna call Henry and say,
Yes. by
Yeah,
all means.
today?
Yeah. If he's not sick, like.
I'm so glad I'm not the director anymore.
Huh?
Chair. You're so glad you're not the chair anymore.
Chair.
You what?
I'm so glad I'm not the chair anymore.
I'll tell you, this has been, I mean, that's gonna change. I mean, it's gonna.
That's what you told me.
Okay, don't hold it against me. I hoped. Okay, so so do I go for 2 candidates on Wednesday? Permanent candidates?
Yes.
2 people.
You can do anything you want on Wednesday, I'll take it off.
You're kidding.
No.
You're fantastic.
Well, if you're gonna, she's gonna take the day off, can we do 2 in the afternoon?
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
let's get this over with.
Let's get this over with. Because it's painful to drag it out because then I'm missing time every week or every day.
all right, so you're gonna have to help me. So there's 6 people, so we're gonna see 4. Are we gonna see 4 on Wednesday?
You know, this last one took 20 minutes. Do we really need 40
There's only
minutes?
5 people,
We don't
right?
need 40
Or is
minutes.
it fine?
Yeah, probably
Well, I
not.
said 40 because,
I know, but I think if we schedule them every half hour, somebody would be waiting for 15 minutes, which is not unheard of at a job. And somebody else, we might have to wait 15 minutes to get them in.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, like, what's her name? Deb Epstein, who doesn't shut up? Give her an hour if you guys want her, but.
No, I don't want to, no. She's gonna go in all different directions.
Right, so then limit it, because there's people waiting and we gotta go.
So are you saying 20 minutes or a half hour?
I would say half hour.
I have dementia.
Is more than enough.
Yeah, because then, anything less would be, 9, and as I said, we're giving people, 30 to 40 minutes. Isn't that what I said? When I started with her?
Yeah, but you had scheduled the other ones for 1 and 2, and I don't think we need that huge.
Oh, right. Well, we only had 2 at the one point. It
Well-
wasn't like we hadn't received this other one.
I know,
so-
but even then, we don't have time to kill in between. I got stuff to do.
I have a pile of mulch to spread still, so.
I don't even have mulch this year.
Okay, listen, let me talk to these people and then we'll figure it out. Epstein and Lanahan, how are you?
So if we start at 10,
Shannon.
10:30,
Don't forget
11,
Shannon there.
11:30 is 4. And that takes us to noon.
10 to 1.
And Shannon's
Until 10:30.
already here.
Yeah, I know.
Like, so she can sort of fit in wherever there's the opening.
Yeah.
But like,
And are we gonna tell?
But call, like, Leanne
Andrew
and that other
he's
one you
not being
guys-
considered for the position at this
Yeah.
point and just
Yeah.
kind of drop the, and then we have, I mean, I think he might be a good assistant, but we have to see, we definitely, whatever happens, we need people that have some support
I don't
there.
even know him, but it would be great to have a guy here to do a men's group, to talk football with,
Well, we're trying to get a man.
He does interact really well with the seniors.
Yeah.
run a little fishing trip.
I gotta tell you, I looked at the list of things, I gotta bring this into show you guys. West Hampton has an unbelievable amount of things.
Yes, they do.
I read that.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I read
You know how many
that.
conversations I have when I call them and I see what they have planned as activity? how do you do it? Because there is such a little small thing. They have, I think they have a breakfast.
Yes,
They
they
have
do.
lunch. I mean, I
They
just
got
say,
like
it's
50 things in that
phenomenal.
column.
Yeah, but Jen tried the breakfast thing and that didn't fly.
Yeah, but because we
Well,
did the
that's the
breakfast
old
with,
ways. That's
what's
the
his
old
name?
days.
We did that meal, and the stuff was not good. We tried it. That cold breakfast, people didn't come.
Also, we had a grant too, and that was not welcome.
What do we have?
The grant.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's going to change. We're going to apply for a lot of grants. Okay, so we have 4 people we're interviewing, right?
Well, I could probably even give more.
Can you just try to save Deb Epstein for last?
Oh, Shannon.
Sorry.
Oh, we're off, aren't
Okay.
they off? It's red.
No, Shannon
No,
can
red
fit
is
in.
on.
wherever.
Oh,
Red is
okay.
on.
All right.
And we're,
We need to make a motion on a cutoff day for applications too.
Okay. All right, I entertain what...
Today.
On the committee.
I make a recommendation that we cut off applications today
I'll second
for the
it.
director.
Why would you do that?
Because we're gonna keep going on and
What
on.
if nobody wants it?
Then we'll
We're
open
gonna
it again.
re-advertise.
But you've got to cut it
Well,
off.
are we
other
still
than-
advertising?
What we're doing, we're closing from having resumes to review. We're not going to close the, on the website, and then if something, then we'll officially, once it's hot, the person's hired, it'll be announced.
Is it off?
No.
Oh my God, I think we said something. Don't worry about it.
I wouldn't either.
is it off now?
Whoopee.
Should I make a motion that we adjourn?
Document, I have
typing.
dementia.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Well, so I'm going to go and schedule these people, but anyway, so we need to,
I make a motion that we adjourn the
Can I
meeting.
ask one question?
There we
before
go. I will
adjourn?
second the motion.
Did we have-
patiently waiting
Do
there.
we have any end-of-year budget transfers that we've done, or are we set with that?
I worked on the Gazette, which was the one that was outstanding. The other was the,
Furniture?
no, there was something, oh God, there was something. The Gazette and...
Just the chair.
Oh, the telephone.
We didn't have to
We're
do
still
the
waiting for a
table
bill,
because
and
we
then
used
Lori...
The table that was downstairs.
Lori asked about whether we had any money, and I said to her, I didn't know because we were trying to, handle the Gazette situation. And so I gave what I approved for, Vicki sent an email yesterday that things had to be in yesterday, so I and I got an email to me, and then I forwarded to her last night, and she's all set for what's being processed. Shannon will be in on Wednesday, and then we have to kind of say, I want all those numbers too. I don't want any surprises, so hopefully.
I mean, do we have to transfer anything to the wage line since there's only, or we're able to just pay out of the grant at this point? I mean, we have $300
I don't-
left in the wage line as of the 22nd, so.
I know that she's been managing hers and Andy's, and I'm confident that she's,
Okay. I
she's
just
stuck to her
wondered.
guns. We're not gonna, we can't transfer money from wages to local, but we can we do local to wages? What was the, I
Yeah.
don't remember what the,
Yeah, you can transfer to wages,
right. But I don't think we're gonna be in that situation.
but we only have $300 left, and there's
Yeah,
3 more weeks of
yeah.
pay, right? Or-
What, that's the report that
The
Joyce sent out the
22nd.
other day?
Yeah, so there's probably,
Well, we have to get on her,
I just wanted to
next
make
week.
sure.
So I've been told consistently, we're okay, and so
Okay.
I told her we don't have major problems.
Great.
So, okay.
So Kathy made a motion.
I'll second the motion to adjourn, or to, adjourn.
Adjourned. Can you shut us off?
Okay.
Everybody in approval?
Aye.
3:12. Did somebody second it?
256.
Yes, we did.
256.
Thank you.
2:56, oh, okay.
It's 256, yes.
I have questions.
Wait a minute.